this lesson, we are going to go ahead and look at constructing specific angles. So we're going to learn how to construct an angle that's 90 degrees, 45 degrees, 135, 60, and 30. Now remember, when we construct, we don't use a protractor, so we're not going to measure these angles. All we're going to use is our compass and our straight edge. So let's begin. If I wanted you to construct a 90-degree angle, well, remember, 90 degrees means perpendicular. So I'm going to go ahead and construct perpendiculars. So take your straight edge and draw a segment. So there's my segment. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a point somewhere on that line. So I'm going to put a point right here. That's just telling me I'm constructing a perpendicular through that point. So now take your compass, put your compass on that dot, and go ahead and stretch out your compass. It doesn't matter the length. I'm going to go about here. And I'm going to make a mark on the line. And I'm going to make it on both sides of the line. So then I'm going to flip mine around, make that same mark. Now I'm going to go from those marks that I have on my segment. From here, I'm going to make my circle drawer a little bigger than halfway, so I'm going to extend it out a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and make a mark below the line. So with my circle drawer, I'm going to make that mark. I'm also going to come and make that same mark, not changing the distance here, but I'm going to make a mark above the line. Now I'm going to take my circle drawer and go to the other arc that I had on my segment. And I'm going to flip my pencil around here. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the marking here. And I'm going to come do it below. Now I can remove my compass, and I'm going to go ahead and take my straight edge and draw a segment through the little X marks that I have and the center. I need to adjust mine a little bit. There we go. So what we have constructed is 90 degrees. So this angle right here is 90 degrees. Well, if I wanted you to construct 45-degree angle, all you would do is bisect this. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy what we did. You can just work with the same angle that you have. So here is my construction of 90 degrees. I'm going to make my picture a little bit bigger. Again, you can just work with the first one that you had. And I am going to go ahead and bisect this angle over here. So let's remember how we bisect an angle. You need your circle drawer. Let me come on up and grab my compass or my circle drawer. I'm going to come on down here. I'm going to go ahead and put the point at the center dot here, because that's at the vertex of that 90-degree angle. And I'm going to go ahead and make an arc. I'm going to pick a distance, and I'm going to make an arc on both sides. So there's that red arc. Now from there, I'm going to take my circle drawer, and I'm going to go to where that arc intersects the top segment. And I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to make it a little bit wider. You want it obviously more than halfway. And I'm going to make a mark from that point. I'm now going to bring my circle drawer or my compass to my other intersection point and make another mark. So what you should be able to do is, if I draw a segment or a line or a ray from the center or the vertex of my angle through that mark, I have constructed 45 degrees. So the 45 degrees is this angle right in here. And I actually constructed two 45-degree angles, because there's one of them. And my other 45-degree angle is right here. So without using a protractor, we just constructed 45 degrees. So let's go on and look at another one. How would you construct 135 degrees? Well, 135 degrees is equal to 90 plus 45. So what I need to do is I need to construct a perpendicular for the 90, and then I need to bisect one. So here's how we're going to do this. I actually want you to try this on your own. So pause the video, you try, and then come back when you're ready. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and construct 90 degrees. So I'm going to start with a segment, and I'm going to put a dot or a point somewhere on that segment. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and construct a perpendicular. So I'm going to take my compass, expand out my measurement here. I'm going to make a mark on both sides of my segment. From those markings, I'm going to take my compass and put it at the intersection. I'm going to make it obviously bigger than halfway. And I'm going to make a mark above my line. And I'll come all the way down and make the mark below, not changing the measurement. I'm going to flip that around and move my circle drawer and my compass to the other point of intersection and finish my mark. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Let me use this part to make that arc. Okay, so we've constructed a perpendicular. Let me go ahead and draw my segment through the X's, and I'll make that look better here. There we go. So I now have constructed two 90-degree angles. So over here is 90 degrees. Well, now what I need to do is I'm going to bisect the angle over here because I need it to, all I need is one of the 45-degree angles. So to bisect it, I'm going to go ahead and take my compass and put the center at where I started, so at the vertex of the angle, and I'm going to go ahead and make a mark on that part of the angle. So I have my arc there. Now from those intersection points, I'm going to extend my compass a little bit and make a mark from this intersection. I'm going to come down here without changing my length. I'm going to make another mark. And now I can go ahead and draw this. So now what I have is that this is my 90 degrees, this is my 45 degrees, so this right here is my 135-degree angle. All right, let's take a look at one more. So first we want to go ahead and construct 60 degrees. Well, if we think about a triangle, we know that the angles of a triangle are 180. And if all the sides are the same, that means all the angles are the same. So if I take 180 and I divide that by 3, I get 60 degrees. So we are going to go ahead and construct an equilateral triangle so that we have 60-degree angles. So here's how we do that. Go ahead and take your straight edge and draw a segment length. Now take your compass and measure the length of that segment. Well, if it's equilateral, then that length is going to be the same for all three sides. So keeping my compass where it is, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of rotate it, and I'm going to make a mark up here. Then I'm going to go ahead and switch my endpoint. So I'm going to move the point to the other endpoint, and I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to go ahead and make my angle mark up here. So if I draw this triangle from this endpoint to there, and this that point of intersection to my other endpoint, I have constructed an equilateral triangle. All the sides are the same. And since all the sides are the same, that means that each one of these angles that I have right here are 60 degrees. So there's my 60-degree angles, and I actually have all of them. Well, if I want to construct 30 degrees, all I'm going to do is bisect one of the angles of my triangle. So I'm going to copy it. You can still work with the original one that you have, but just so it looks a little neater for me, I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm going to bisect this angle over here. So I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to come to the vertex of the angle, and I'm going to make a mark, just like we copy an angle, like so. Now from those points of intersection, I'm going to put my compass. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to make a mark this way. I'm going to take that same value and come to the other intersection point, and let me rotate this and make a mark. And now I can go ahead and bisect that 60-degree angle. So what I have is that this angle right here is 30 degrees, and this angle right here is 30 degrees. So that is how you construct a 30-degree angle. Great job!